we can agree on certain values. We can agree on things that, for me, I think it's an interesting topic of conversation, American values, because I don't think American values are necessarily different than any other country, although people try to make that distinction a lot. And what are your values? Besides hard work, yeah, I like to work hard too.
Right, well, so that's another thing that we have in common. We both also like 50 Cent, so there we go. There's another...
Oopsie. Snack. I never said I liked 50 Cent, I just had sex with him. Are you coming clean on something?
No, for the record, I have not.
He's definitely got a type.
We can discuss that. I'm glad that I could get that one out in the open. But beyond that, values for me, as far as conservative values, I believe in limited government. That's my main thing, and I think that that's in some ways that's libertarian. But to me, everything is limited government. But I also believe in strong national security. I believe in border enforcement. I believe in low taxes. I believe in free market capitalism. Those are the values that I think, for me, that's what American values represent, because we are a free market capitalistic society, and that's why we're the richest nation on the face of the earth.
Yeah. So, but what about government's involvement in things like the police force or the Coast Guard or, the military?
Well, government, of course, has a place. I'm not saying the government does not. I just believe that it takes a limited role, and that's where I think a lot of conservatives and those that are on the liberal side would disagree. I don't think government does many things well. I think there are certain things that it does do well, and I think that there are areas, certainly the private sector does better, free market capitalism does better, and that's where I stack on healthcare. That's where I stack on.
But don't you feel like, as like the leading country, or we were, in the global community, the fact that we spend 70% of our gross domestic product on healthcare, the fact that people go bankrupt paying for healthcare, I understand about having limited government, I understand that argument, but what about human decency with people that cannot afford healthcare?
And I understand that, but I also don't believe that the universal healthcare system, I believe that it fails the very people that it's intended to help. And I think that there are examples of that all across the world. I don't think that it's an effective method. It sounds good, but I just don't think that socialism, I don't believe that single-payer universal healthcare, we can see it. If you want an example, to me, if you want an American example, I look at the VA. If you look at the VA and you think that that is the model in which you want the rest of the healthcare system in the United States to function after, I certainly don't, because I know from personal experience that people go through hell in the VA system, long wait times.
Well, how would you like to see healthcare unroll? or roll out? What's your ideal?
Sure.
Just no involvement at all, just people just figure it out?
I think that there are common sense solutions, and to me, I think that this discussion needs to be had, and I would like it to be bipartisan. I really would. I think that universal health care is a bad decision. I think it's a bad choice. I do believe in repealing Obamacare and also replacing it. There needs to be some mechanism.
Repealing Obamacare would be fine if they had a replacement, is the issue.
I understand. That's why I believe that we should have a 2-year sunset period in which we repeal it, and then we have 2 years. And I'm looking at Republicans too, saying, get your shit together. Get your shit together. Because they don't. That's where you and I might align as well. I'm not sitting here as someone that's the GOP establishment. I'm not even sitting here as someone that's just pro-Trump. I'm sitting here as someone that's just pro-America. And I look at the failures, which I think government fails us at every turn. Both parties. You and I probably agree on that. Both parties fail us. We need something different, and I think that can take place. It's just...
Yeah, I would like to see a lot more bipartisanship. Regarding healthcare, I feel like what happened in the last couple of months, or maybe 6 months, I feel like has been really mean-spirited. Mean.
In what way, though?
I think when people talk about repealing and replacing Obamacare, fine. Everybody, even Democrats, many Democrats, I won't speak for all of them, obviously, because, whatever, I'm not going to speak for anybody but myself. I think a lot of people feel that there are problems with Obamacare. They admit it. They're not denying it. Nobody's pretending it's not an issue when premiums go through the roof and people can't afford it. But it also has helped, 22 million people.
But I think that 22 million people, I don't think that's not a correct number. 22 million people.
Well, no, that is a correct number.
But it's not. It's the people that are forced to buy healthcare. But all those people they're being forced to buy healthcare. So you don't force them, and then all of a sudden your number goes way far away from 22 million.
No, actually, it works better when everybody feeds into that economy. It does work better. It's proven when people. Don't cheer after every fucking thing we say, please, okay? We're not in a football game. Just let us have a conversation, okay? be calm, please. It's proven in socialist countries, in England, in all of Europe, in Scandinavia, when people pay into a single payer system, when people pay, and that evens out the market. That's a fact. I mean, that's been proven over and over again. They don't have problems with healthcare.
They do,
over
though.
there in Canada.
They have waiting lists. And in the Medicaid system, to me, the problem with Obamacare as well is that it made Medicaid an open-ended entitlement. It was supposed to be for those that truly, truly need it. And it's expanded to the level where there are some that are feeding off of the system at the expense of middle-class Americans who are just above the threshold, but they're not low enough to be able to get fully subsidized. And those are the Americans that I care about as well, because those are the ones that are also really struggling.
Yeah, but I think we're all struggling. The idea is to help each other. I think the idea is I want to help. If my neighbor needs help and I can help him, I want to. I know that's not the most popular thing to say. Well, maybe it is. I mean, we're in LA, so it is popular here. But I'm like, where the fuck am I do want to help people. I want people to have healthcare. I want people to feel safe. I want people to pay into a system that's going to return the favor, if and when they need it. Most people end up needing medical care. It's not like elective, you know?
No, I understand.
It's kind of like a basic fundamental right.
Right, but not for me. I believe it is my right to purchase healthcare. I don't believe it's my right to pay for it for other people. I also think that the universal healthcare system fails. I think it fails for very people because you and I. It's so easy to say, and I'm glad you don't. It's so easy for us to say, well, I could sit here and say, you just want government control, and you could sit here and say, oh, you hate sick and poor people. And that's a discussion I don't want to have, and luckily that's not one we're having.
Yeah.
But for me, we all want what's best for people. I just believe that limited government is the way to do it. I don't think that government does well in healthcare. I think it's proven by the VA that the government doesn't do well in healthcare. So we need to find alternatives. What's right now is not working. What we had before Obamacare was not working. I think you increase competition. I think that's the way to do it. And I also believe in allowing states to take more control. I think that will help them effectively manage their own citizens because every state is so different. I think putting more in the hands of the states. If you have a state that needs to expand Medicaid and you need those Medicaid dollars, then that state needs to decide it for itself. But every state isn't created equal. And that's where I align on that. It's just, I think that the free marketplace does better than
Okay,
government.
so do you have a healthcare plan or no?
Well, luckily, I'm 24, so I am still on my parents. And to say, yeah. I don't care. There are things, they can laugh.
At least she's being, stop. She's being honest.
And to say, and that's exactly what I'm saying, to say that there are things from Obamacare that are not positive, that's not true. And most Republicans, most conservative, most Trump supporters don't believe that every single tenet of Obamacare is bad. I do believe that allowing people to stay on their parents' health insurance until they're 26, I think that is a worthwhile discussion and conversation to have. Now for me, if that were taken away from me, I'm okay. I don't need it. If it's for the betterment of a free market system and healthcare is going to be better for it, I'm okay with that. But there are tenets of Obamacare that are positive. I do believe.
Oh, great. What?
I would be staying on your parents' health insurance. I do think that there needs to be a better method for pre-existing conditions. I agree with you on that. There are some conservatives that don't. I do believe that we need to have a mechanism for those with pre-existing conditions, and I think the Senate Health Bill did have those stipulations. Now, it's not perfect. I'm not saying it's perfect. There's a lot of work to be done. But I think that one thing we can agree on is Obamacare is in a death spiral. So something
It's in a death spiral, but it's in a death spiral being sabotaged by the President of the United States. Listen, but one second. He could either, now that the bill hasn't gone through, a decent, I would argue, a decent human being would say, okay, let's do whatever we can to make the system that's in place work and thrive. It's not my bill, but instead, he's making it harder for people to sign up for Obamacare, and he's closing down of those 18 assistant help places that help you sign up for Obamacare. He's doing things that are just not presidential. I want the leader of the country to want me to succeed.
I think that he does, and I think that he's also, we have to understand that
He definitely does not want me to succeed.
Well, I can't speak for him personally, but I can tell you that the voters spoke. I mean, elections have consequences. I think the American people are not mean-spirited. We don't want to all kill each other. Let's hope this isn't the purge. But the American people voted in 2010, in 2012, and in 2016, and they said, we don't want Obamacare. This is failing us. So we need to do something.
Okay, let's move on from healthcare. Okay, we both agree on nothing. I mean, we agree that it's not worth it. but I appreciate your candor. Let's talk about Donald Trump. Months that you've stopped and said, wow, this guy's not right?
You know, agreeing with what every move someone makes, every tweet they send, no, I don't. But I do believe that the positives outweigh the negatives. I do believe that he's a good president. I do believe that he's done things. And people talk about all the time, it's, well, he tweeted something and that's mean. I can get over the meanness of his tweets if he's helping middle-class Americans, if he's helping America, if he's putting America first, he's strengthening us on the world stage, if he's enforcing our border. I can deal with a mean tweet.
But why? But mean represents so many other things. He's kind of like a toddler, like an angry, he's a toddler. He lashes out at people and he's vengeful and he says really nasty things and he's a crybaby. He's like, never in modern American history have we ever seen a crybaby of this nature serving as the president of the United States. He whines and bitches and moans. Everything's unfair, it's unfair, it's unfair. He's the fucking president. Act like it.
In terms of tone, in terms of what he tweets, there are certainly areas I agree with you, but I will say this, there's not a president that has dealt with what this president is dealing with. When you have a media that is hell-bent on sabotaging this president, there are most members of the media that would rather see this president fail.
Please take it down, please. This is not...
It's not about you.
Yeah, let's just calm down and let's listen.
There are members of the media, and I would say most, that would rather see this president fail than see the United States of America succeed, and I think there's a problem with that. I also believe this president cannot get his message out on mainstream media. He's not given the opportunity to. So he goes around and he goes on Twitter.
He's given everybody he has every opportunity to get it out on mainstream media.
When you turn on CNN and you sit there for 5 hours and you hear the same story about Russia over and over and over again, they cover nothing else. They cover nothing else.
It's a pretty big story.
What's going on in Venezuela is a big story.
Venezuela is also a big story. It's a shame that we can't pay more attention to that. It would be great if we didn't have the distraction that is the president of the United States, distracting from global issues.
But Chelsea,
additionally, it would also be great if the president of the United States acknowledged the global community and respected the global community.
Which I believe he did fantastic. And beyond that, if you look at Venezuela, speaking of it, that is a prime example of how socialism fails.
We're not getting into Venezuela because that's another conversation. But let's focus on his behavior. Let's focus on his agenda. I mean,
Let's focus on his agenda.
He has
so tired of his
behavior.
behavior.
Okay. So let's talk. So he just failed healthcare. They just failed miserably in control of all three. In control of the Senate and the House and the president. They can't pass that.
It failed, but I don't think it's President Trump. I think that there are 3 Republicans that need to answer for that because they campaigned for 7 years on repealing Obamacare, and they didn't, and they failed, and they took in a lot of money from a lot of donors that were expecting them to repeal Obamacare. That was a mandate from the American people, and they failed the American people. And those are Republicans, and I have no problem saying it. I think that they let us down.
But here's the thing: the repeal and replace. What they had started as a giant tax cut for the rich. There was no health plan. It was built around giving more money to the very, very top 10%, 1% of people. That's what it was built on. That's how they started their plan. That was the very first tenet of their plan. Tax cuts for the rich. How is that in the best interest of American people?
I think open-ended entitlement that is Medicaid is not in the best interest of even those that are on. Medicaid is not, people that are on Medicaid, it's better than nothing, but Medicaid is failing in many of the states of the very people that it's intended to serve. And it's because there are too many people enrolled in it, because when you make something an open-ended entitlement, there are people that are taking advantage of it that have no business taking advantage of it.
Why? Because they're lying about being poor?
Well, no, because it erases their incentive to work. If you can get your health care free and you can be subsidized, why would you work?
Because you have to earn money. Just getting your health care for free doesn't pay your bills.
There are other entitlements that help them there as well. That's the problem to me with the overgrown entitlement state.
Okay. So back to his agenda. What else? What has he done that you're really like, the executive orders, his repealing? I mean, half of the stuff he signed has been like kind of just undoing what Obama did. I think a third of the things that he signed into action. The others are executive orders, and then I think he renamed a library or something.
He's taking back about 15 or 16 regulations for every one. So for someone that appreciates limited government, I know that's something that I feel is a success. But beyond that, I mean, when you look at national security, we had an administration for 8 years that made our enemies stronger. They made China stronger. They made Russia stronger. They made Iran stronger. And now the tide is turning. And I also believe in terms of national security.
Now we're making Russia stronger. And China.
We're also putting sanctions on Russia,
wait. Let's talk about the sanctions, because that's actually a great point. Because the Congress basically had to babysit him and force those sanctions through so that he had to sign them. I mean, he could veto them, but that would be really, he hasn't signed them yet. Right, exactly, thank you. But that's them, that's Congress coming and saying, we don't trust our president. That shit scares the fuck out of me. That our Congress has to babysit the man in charge, that doesn't scare you? He didn't come up with those sanctions. He doesn't probably even know what sanctions are yet.
At the end of the day, if they're in place, that's the president of the United States. And beyond that, what scared the ever-living hell out of me, Chelsea, was the Iran deal and the former president. And it was orchestrated behind closed doors with that. That's what terrified me. And nuclear Iran, that's what terrifies me. And we're already seeing them flex their muscles. And finally, we've got a president that's not going to stand for that shit. And I appreciate it.
So you're saying you trust him?
I do. And here's why. He surrounds himself, and there are certainly places where this may not be true, but for me, especially now with our new chief of staff, he surrounds himself with people that are leaders. You know what? The thing about Scaramucci, you guys can talk about it all day, but he's a former liberal, so he's one of yours. Remember that. Well, you can have him.
His wife filed for divorce yesterday. Did you read that? I mean, this shit just keeps getting better and better. I now understand why people watch The Real Housewives. Like, I've never watched a reality show in my life because I think it's so cheap and dirty, and now I'm like watching one every day. I'm like, no, I get it. I want to start watching The Housewives now. It'll be a nice day when that's my only option. So Scaramucci, right? Okay, liberal, but the people he surrounds himself with, it seems like a rotating kind of, there people are in and out a lot. There's a lot of shakeups and staff movement there. That also doesn't feel good as a constituent. It feels unsteady and it feels
I can see where things might not feel good sometimes, but for me, I appreciate our new chief of staff. I think that surrounding yourself with someone that served in the capacity that John Kelly has, I think it's important, and I think it's a strength of character, and I do think that there are several individuals. And listen, for those that are, I find it odd that there are some that are coming to the defense of Sean Spicer and Reince Priebus, like some liberals are suddenly cheerleaders for Reince Priebus and Sean Spicer, like now they're like, oh, my boy, no, you didn't like him. The same thing with John McCain. All of a sudden the liberals, they fucking love John McCain. I'm like, where was this in 2008 when you guys were savaging him every day?
It is true, like all this, that's very true, because it is true. You're like watching Jeff Sessions, I'm like, no, I need Jeff Sessions to say. Like, I hate Jeff Sessions, but I'm like, no, stop, don't. It is funny. He makes you like hate people and then he makes you like them. But I think he kind of likes that's the drama of it. Unfortunately, that's better for like a TV show. So his agenda.
I do want to talk about national security though, because that's a big one for me. That means a lot to me. The thing that I'm seeing.
You scared?
No.
No. I mean about national security.